Hi, my name is Rameen Abdal. I'm a postdoc at Stanford. We worked on a project titled Gaussian Shell Maps for Efficient 3D Human Generation. We use the recently released 3D Gaussians to generate digital humans using single-view datasets. Our work is one of the first works using Gaussians in a generative feed-forward network setup. Below are the examples of generation and articulation achieved by our method. 3D human generation is still a more difficult problem to solve because of the diversity of pose and the body shapes. Here are the trends in 3D human generation from 2D single-view datasets. The graph shows rendering speeds and the FID, which is the measure of the distribution matching, a data point that can go farther in the x-axis and lower in the y-axis is desired. All of these methods use 2D upsamplers due to the heavy computational complexity of the volume rendering to match the resolution of the datasets. This affects the quality of generation and produces aliasing artifacts apart from being slow. For example, here. A representation that emerged recently are 3D Gaussians. They are fast point-based primitives accelerated in GPUs for rendering. In this work, we explore the feasibility of these primitives for the task of 3D human generation from 2D single-view datasets. To replace the volumetric representations in the rendering pipelines of the generative networks, a newly optimized representation of 3D Gaussians have shown promising results, but they are showing results on the reconstruction tasks. In the original paper, the reconstruction pipeline looks like this. The point cloud initialization is followed by generating the 3D Gaussians based on the opacity, scale in the 3D, rotation, and the spherical harmonic parameters. Given the camera, the points are rendered on the screen space, and then with the help of the differentiable rasterizer, the image loss can be computed at the output. The gradients flow back to the attributes of these Gaussians. Now, another concept here which is important are shell maps. Shell maps are the mapping between the shell space and the texture space. A shell is a mesh offsetted by another surface to form a volume with a corresponding mapping into the texture space. This helps in modeling of the surface effects in graphics pipelines. We use this concept to our advantage to model the volumes near the surface rather than using the rendering of the whole volume like in the triplanes. Here is the general pipeline combining all the concepts. First, a generator is used to generate texture maps of the attributes of Gaussians, that is the opacity, color, rotation, and scale. We refer to them as shell maps. These maps map the texture maps to 3D Gaussians, which are derived from the SMPL meshes. We can have multiple of these shells. Given the camera parameters and the SMPL parameters, these Gaussians are then composited, deformed, and transformed into the screen space using point-based rasterization method. Finally, these images are then discriminated using the discriminator. We also use part discriminators to focus on different parts of the body, and then also to reduce the complexity of optimization. We do not optimize for the positions here, and we do not use any super resolution modules. Here are the examples of pose variations that can be achieved with our method. Notice various poses, diverse clothing, and photorealism. Since the texture maps are interpretable, editing can be done very easily. For example, here replacing different parts of the body helps us achieve off-the-shelf edits. Here is the comparison with state-of-the-art AG3D. Notice the generation and articulation speeds in hours versus AG3D. Hours achieve better speeds than state-of-the-art. Also notice that our method generates at native dataset resolution, which is 512 cross 512, without upsampling, and hence avoids aliasing artifacts. These artifacts can be clearly seen in AG3D. Two diffusion-based methods that we compare with are Tada and Dream Human, where our results are more realistic and preferred by the users by a huge margin. Apart from this, these diffusion-based methods take minutes/hours to generate these 3D humans. Hence, our approach provides a more practical solution. Scan this code to visit our project page and play around with the code. Thanks.